All right, let's dig into some wisdom for today. So funny, I always put these bookmarks where they need to go, but half the time I don't use them. This one is called God Keeps His Promises. The verse comes from Genesis chapter 21, verses 1 through 4. Looks like it's the MSG version. God visited Sarah exactly as he said he would. God did to Sarah what he promised. Sarah became pregnant and gave Abraham a son in his old age. And at the very time God had set, Abraham named him Isaac. When his son was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him just as God had commanded. God had made Abraham and Sarah the eventual father and mother of a Hebrew nation. An incredible promise. They would have a son who would be a great blessing to them and to the entire world. God didn't fulfill his promise exactly 9 months after he first made it. Abraham and Sarah had to wait some time before he gave them Isaac. But at the very time God had set, where Abraham was an old man, God miraculously kept his promise. God keeps 100% of his promises 100% of the time. Always has, always will. He may not do it when you think he will, or when you think he should, but you can count on him to come through for you at what he knows is the perfect time and in the perfect way. This is a wonderful review for me today, mostly because I've been dealing with a lot of grief from a situation that I was actually promised would be an everlasting thing from God. Looking at the story of Abraham and Sarah and seeing just how long he did have to wait for, man, that was a long time that he had to actually wait for his promise to fulfill. And as we all know, Abraham was very, very obedient. He trusted everything God said to the point where even when his faith was tested, he stayed obedient. Thinking back to that story and how he brought him to the altar, not with children, but with something else, I feel that this is exactly how this situation is playing out for me. Now, of course, as it all plays out, it doesn't necessarily feel that way, but that's where faith steps into play, and we need to remember he keeps his promises, and that it is not happening on my time. I love how when these things, it's always like these are perfect timing things, how they just line up with something that may be afflicting you on that day. I know a lot of people who are waiting on a lot of different things right now. Thankfully, a lot of them have the faith to know that God is going to keep his promises for them, but a few of them don't. My heart goes out to them because without that peace and without that wisdom of knowing that he will keep his promise, they are lost, man. They are very, very lost. Sounds like a great fellowship opportunity and a great discipleship opportunity, really. What do you guys feel like God has promised you that may not be happening because it's not the right time? I look at the situation I'm referring to, and I know that it's just not the right time for the thing that I want to happen. Do you feel like the things that you're waiting on for him, do you feel like those things are just things that you're waiting on, or do you feel like you should have them already? I think it's easy for us to become discouraged whenever it doesn't happen on our time. I think that's a wonderful opportunity for our faith to be tested. Do you feel like you're in one of those trials with the situation that you're probably thinking about in your head right now? Remembering back to the story of Abraham and thinking about how that would relate to me as a parent, I would be struggling if that's what I was told. Not exactly sure how much I can say on YouTube without any issues popping up to where I've got to delete the video or anything, but what was asked in that story was very difficult for me to wrap my head around as a loving and caring parent. But when he was obedient, God kept his promise. And not only did he keep that promise, he gave them such a great blessing, who then became a blessing not only to them, but to the entire world. When we endure through faith, we are rewarded. God keeps his promises, and it becomes that much easier to soldier on through any of the trials that you're facing when you know and you have the wisdom that God will always keep his promises, no matter how bleak it may look. Loving Father, I take great encouragement in knowing that you are a God that can be trusted to keep every promise you've made, even ones that seem impossible. When my sense of trust in you wanes, remind me through your word just how trustworthy you really are. And it's such a good prayer. So just remember that while you tackle your trials today. Have a wonderful rest of your day.